So Thor: Love and Thunder is the latest installment in the MCU and the latest film directed by Taika Waititti.
Just look into the eyes of the people that you love. Not me.
What? Just listening.
If you guys know anything about me, I'm not a huge fan of Thor Ragnarok, the last Thor that was directed by Taika Waititti, so I was kind of nervous about this. It's not that I don't like Taika Waititti. I think he's a phenomenal filmmaker. I love Hunt for the Wilder People, Jojo Rabbit, What We Do in the Shadows. I just did not like his style in the MCU. I didn't think it worked as well, although there were some things about Ragnarok I really enjoyed. It's one of the most visually stunning MCU movies, for example. And I do like funny Thor, guys. Don't get me wrong. I think that funny Thor works, but there is funny Thor and then there's overly funny Thor, which is what I thought we got in Ragnarok. So I was nervous about Thor: Love and Thunder. So did it deliver what I wanted out of it? Did it impress me? Let's talk about that. Alright, so Thor: Love and Thunder, based on the trailers, this is where I'll go. It does see Thor reunited with Jane Foster. Jane Foster now has powers, which I won't really get into why, but that is a part of this movie. It's a major part of this movie. And as far as Natalie Portman returning to the character of Jane Foster, I will say Taika did probably the best utilization of Natalie Portman as that character. Was one of the highlights of this movie for sure. I did enjoy that angle with Jane Foster being Mighty Thor. I thought that that really worked in this film, and you know, you guys will judge it for yourselves, but a lot of the emotion that came out of that storyline is a lot of what works about this movie. I'm not gonna lie, like, I thought the Jane Foster character was really, really good. Her and Chris Hemsworth had the best chemistry I think they've ever had on screen in this one, and a lot of that's just due to the way that they were both played. Tessa Thompson's back as Valkyrie. She has some really, really great moments as well. I did enjoy watching her throughout this film. My problem with Valkyrie in the movie is that she's a little bit underutilized. You don't get enough screen time with her in this movie to really feel some payoff for some things that happen. And I love the utilization of the Guardians of the Galaxy in this movie for the little time that they're in it. And honestly, it shows me that Taika Waititi could do a Guardians of the Galaxy movie and do a bang-up job with one of those. He really did a great job with the amount of time we got them. I love that a lot. Russell Crowe's Zeus is very underutilized in this movie, so if you guys are very excited to see Russell Crowe as Zeus, I would pump the brakes on that a little bit. Russell Crowe was kind of wasted in my opinion. I thought the performance itself was good, but I did not really enjoy the way that they used Zeus in the film. That was kind of one of my issues. But Chris Hemsworth is back as Thor, and he is great as Thor. I really enjoyed him as Thor a lot. I mean, nobody else could play the role. I think he's so attached to it, honestly. At this point, it'd be very hard to see anybody else play Thor, and I really enjoyed what he did. I think that this movie actually takes a lot of swings. It takes Thor into a whole new direction. It's one of the things I really liked about it. I like that this movie is very different formulaic wise, because you look at a lot of the Thor movies, they're Earth, Asgard, Earth, or Asgard, Earth, Asgard, whatever. You know, that's kind of the pattern. And in Ragnarok, they changed it just a little bit. I mean, Taika utilized the planet where he went to find Hulk, which I enjoyed that. And it was a little bit different, a little bit more fresh. So Thor went from Asgard, planet Asgard. And in this movie, it's completely different because they have him going on this crazy adventure, right? And so we go to so many different places, and visually, the locations are amazing. I mean, Taika shot the hell out of this movie. It's a very visually stunning movie, and Taika's a hell of a filmmaker when it comes to that. I mean, this is a gorgeous movie to look at. So we have a new villain though. A new villain in the MCU, Gorr the God Butcher, played by the great, phenomenal, one of the most talented of all time, Christian Bale. And it's no question that Christian Bale is amazing in this movie. He is a wonderful villain, and when his scenes pop up, it's freaky actually. It gets very dark at times, and Taika did a great job with those scenes. Oh my gosh, they're so good to look at, and a lot of the color grading and things that he used for Gorr, I won't get into too much, but you guys will really enjoy the way that Gorr is utilized in this movie, I think, for the most part. But it's when he's utilized. See, this movie is what I would call a comedy. It is. It's very much a comedy. This is more of a comedy than Ragnarok, and I'm not going to say I had an issue with it. For some odd reason, I still kind of found myself liking this one more than Ragnarok, and I think it was the story of this one that appealed to me more. But this movie is like so much comedy, right? And I would have chopped down some of those comedic scenes and given Christian Bale a little bit more light. That would have been a better way, I think, to go about doing this one in particular, because I felt like some of the humorous scenes did go on so long that I kind of forgot what we were doing there in the first place. So sometimes the plot could be a little bit messy in general execution when it comes to some of the scenes that are just overblown with jokes, and that was one of my biggest issues, I think, going in. And yeah, I mean, it's a good movie, don't get me wrong. And if you can't tell, I did actually have a lot of fun with this movie, and most, if not all, the jokes work, honestly. They're funny jokes. I laughed a lot, I laughed hard, but then by the time we got to some of the payoff of this entire story, I was kind of finding myself going, I kind of would have liked more. You know, because I would have liked more of the setup for gore, because we do get a little bit of payoff there, but it's not really paid off, I don't feel, emotionally anyway, because we didn't spend enough time with him. We didn't spend enough time with him. We didn't really spend enough time diving into what was happening with Jane, because there was some payoff there too, and I would have liked more of that. And some of those emotional beats just kind of got missed for me, because I think we spent so much time with the comedy, and that's where my issue lies, honestly. All right, guys, look, Thor: Love and Thunder is not a bad outing for Taika Waititti. It's a really fun time in the theater. If you're having a bad day, I would actually go see it. But honestly, for me, I don't think I would pay again to see it, you know what I mean? But I'll wait for Disney Plus and give it another watch. Again, it's something I'll put on when I'm having a bad day. I'm going to go ahead and give Thor: Love and Thunder a might go. All right, guys, look, I've been Martino. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave some feedback in the comment section, share this with your friends, and hit that bell for notifications. I'm going to take off, and I'll talk to you guys later.